CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. And by Miller High Life. Welcome to Miller Time.
Dallas and Minnesota both back on the field in the artificial turf of, well, it's an arena that looks very much like the one in Detroit. Very, very nice facility.
It's like a balloon. May take off someday.
Halftime stats. First downs, Dallas 16, Minnesota 8. 106 yards rushing, 115 passing for the Cowboys. Turnovers. Seems like every game that is the key factor. Time of possession, look at that. That can be misleading indeed. Dallas 50 plays, Minnesota just 23, but 3 of them were touchdown plays. 2 touchdowns from Dills to White, and the 5-yard touchdown run by Ted Brown.
You know, one of the things about that time of possession, though, and the 50 plays and sometimes it tends to wear that defense down a little. And you have your defense on the field too long, they get too many shots at them. Sometimes they start to break a little in that fourth quarter.
Ricardo kicks off, shanks it off the side of his foot. Fellows takes it. Ron Fellows out of the pack. Good return. Dallas up to the 39-yard line before Walker Lee Ashley makes the stop. 24-yard return by Fellows. Second half just beginning. Pat Summerall with John Madden at the Metrodome in Minnesota. Vikings leading 24-13. 14:51 left to play third quarter. Houston 10, Pittsburgh 7, fourth quarter.
Pittsburgh's getting shocked twice in a row. Last week it was the New England Patriots that beat them. Now they're losing to the Houston Oilers.
Pittsburgh had the ball all day but lost to New England. Same thing is happening here. White, Dorsett. Nothing. Scott Studwell. First man in purple to make contact, number 55.
Good play by Studwell. What happened when the guard over him pulled, he stepped up through the hole that he vacated and caught Dorsett in the backfield.
Now he's got linebacker eyes, doesn't he?
Let's see if we can watch it. He's right here and left of the screen. You see the guard pull across? He stepped right up. You see that? Right that hole that was created. He stepped right through that hole and caught Dorsett. He does have those linebacker eyes.
He does. 2nd and 10. Dorsett is the lone setback about 8 yards deep, and White drops the throw. Blitz is on. Pearson had the ball just go right through his hands. That's a rare occasion right there. Willie Teal, the defender. Watch this ball just go right through his hands.
Few too many moves there. You see again, he was busy there fighting Teal and pushing him off, and by the time he turned around, he couldn't get his hands back together to catch it.
And you could see him look away just before the ball got there, looking to see where Teal was.
I think he was worried a little too much about Teal pushing him and pulling and that type of stuff, and couldn't get stuff together.
Ron Springs, Butch Johnson, Doug Donnelly, all in the passing pattern. As Dallas goes from the shotgun, and White throws outside. Butch Johnson had it, lost it. Good play by the Minnesota defense, Tommy Hannon.
You know, the Vikings are doing this so well today. Watch again. Here's Butch Johnson. He got it. Now watch Hannon. Just as he's trying to get that ball, Hannon goes whap, and the ball bounces out. That's about the 5th time that they've done that now today.
As Joey Browner over there to help him out. Warren goes back in punt formation for the Cowboys, and Rufus Bess goes back deep for Minnesota. Bess standing at about his own 18, and Warren will punt from his 22, or make it about the 25 by the time he's stepping. Good kick. Hanging. Dallas down quickly as Rufus Bess is hit by Bates, who was the first one there, and Angelo King was right behind him. 51-yard punt, 3-yard return by Rufus Bess. And the Vikings will take over. Let's check out the injury situation and see. Rafferty, who was hurt, as you recall, on Septien's field goal just before the conclusion of the first half, has what is known as a turf toe. Got his foot jammed into this artificial surface. Kurt Peterson has a slight concussion. He probably won't play anymore. Rafferty looks like he might be back. Here's Brown. Down by Bob Brunig. Randy White there to help out.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys are a funny team this year. You watch them, and they look like they just play hard enough to win. They play the type of game that they have to win. If you score a bunch, we'll score a bunch. If you don't score many, we won't score many. You turn over, we'll turn over. Looks like the other team dictates to them.
Minnesota goes on a quick count against the Dallas passing defense, and they shut it down. Anthony Dickerson tripped him up. John Dutton also with an assist.
I think that's one of the things that the Vikings are trying to do, is get into a pass offensive formation and then run.
And do it before Dallas has a chance to do all their shuffling around. 3rd down and 3. Line of scrimmage is the Minnesota 22, with the Vikings leading 24-13, 12:40 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Steve Dills is the Viking quarterback. Ted Brown is the lone setback. All of them in black shoes. Dills intended for Brewer. Bounced off his hands. Incomplete. Dickerson on the coverage. And Minnesota will have to punt. Greg Coleman will come on to do his act. Did a good job in the first half.
You know, Greg Coleman was saying that this is his stadium. This is his arena. He's like one of those male dogs. He's kind of possessive. He said, no matter what punter comes in here, I want to beat him in my stadium.
So far he has.
That's a nice motivator.
My house seats 62,000. They have a lot of friends. Trot Hill looking for someplace to go, finds a little bit of room and gets out to the 45 before Dennis Johnson makes the stop. So Dallas will take over at their own 45 with 12:16 left to play, 3rd quarter, trailing 24-13.
For the most comprehensive pregame coverage of college football, join Brent Musburger, Pat O'Brien, and Aaron Persigan on the NCAA Today, Saturdays on CBS Sports.
The NCAA Today begins the day next Saturday. That is from a football viewpoint. And then it's Alabama against Penn State. Our old buddy Ray Perkins against our old buddy Joe Paterno. Things are better for Perkins than for Paterno at the moment, at least. Although he's got him back on the track. Minnesota in a blitz. White back to throw. Has Ron Springs. Springs for 9. Dennis Johnson belted him out of bounds.
You know, Ron Springs is different for a fullback. Most fullbacks do a lot of the inside running. Ron Springs is one of the big receivers in this Cowboy offense. See how he sneaks through there? Look, he starts, goes through the right side, and comes around to the left underneath the linebackers, you know, and picks up about 9 yards. Not bad. But you see him how he kind of hunched over there and sneaked through behind that tackling guard? We don't see him.
2nd and 1. Dennis Johnson in black shoes like the rest of the Vikings, but high-top black shoes. That really looks different. Dorsett, nothing. Fumble. White drops on it. Oh, did they tear that down. Fred McNeil led the Viking defense, and Dorsett never had a chance.
This is a way to stop the running game with penetration. Watch it from the left. It'll be Fred McNeil coming through. He's coming on a blitz. Watch him right there. He just goes right through the block, and he hits Dorsett before he can get turned upfield. Danny White was in good position. Watch that. You see right there, the guard is trying to get to him, and he just couldn't get there. That was Baldinger, Brian Baldinger, who's playing for Kurt Peterson. He's got there a half a step late.
Peterson has the stomach flu, not a concussion, as we said a minute ago. It's 3rd and long. 11. White. Flag is dropped quickly. Pass is incomplete, intended for Butch Johnson. Let's see what the penalty is about. Vikings are applauding, so it must be against the Cowboys. And will they take this one?
No, they'll turn that one down and make them punt, I'm sure. That's third down. You don't want to give them another shot at your defense. Tom Landry's saying to Dick Nolan, what the heck are we doing?
Well, you look at that Dallas lineup.
The penalty will be refused. 4th down.
They have 2 new offensive linemen playing. Glenn Titensor is playing center, and Baldinger is playing guard. Washington leading, you saw 20-7 over the Raiders. This is John Warren. So 2 new offensive linemen can make a big difference.
A missed block on one play and a holding penalty on the next, back to back.
4th down. They refused the penalty. Here's Warren. They put the pressure on him. He gets it off. And that one will stay up there a long time. Rufus Best, fair catch at the 16-yard line where Minnesota will take over. Hang time 4.6. You'd be happy with that.
He would be. The center on that play was Tom Rafferty. He didn't play the regular play, but he went in to snap and to punt, and he couldn't run downfield.
And he's limping off the field right now. 24-13. Minnesota still leads. Next Sunday, CBS Sports has an NFL doubleheader. New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, St. Louis, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago. All those will begin with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Then at 3:30 Eastern Time, Tampa Bay visits Dallas. Philadelphia will be at New York. That's where John Madden and I will be. And the Rams against San Francisco at Candlestick. A lot of traditional rivalries now next week right here on CBS. Minnesota 24, Dallas 13. 11:09 left third quarter. Dills will go to work. Pump fake by Dills, who has Darren Nelson out of bounds for Minnesota first down at the 28-yard line. Bob Brunig on the coverages. 12-yard gain.
I'll tell you who caused that one, though. It was Dennis Thurman. Terry LeCount was man-to-man on him. Dills was trying to go deep to LeCount, but Thurman had good coverage on him, so Dills had to come off to a short man.
Here comes the Dallas shock troop.
It's a big troop.
Figuring that Dills will throw on first down. They waited till the last second to put those substitutes in there.
Audible.
Brewer yelled out to the flanker, Sammy White. Dills gives to Nelson. Nelson gets maybe one. Other scores. Philadelphia 21, Atlanta 14, third quarter. Houston 10, Pittsburgh 10, fourth quarter. It'll be 2nd and 8 here with Minnesota leading Dallas 24-13. Dallas and the Los Angeles Raiders, the only 2 undefeated teams left. Dallas is behind and the Raiders are behind. Smirrick, Lethea in the Dallas defensive alignment now as the up front lineman, along with Bill Bates, who seems confused at the moment. Bates started on a blitz, then gave it up. Pass intended for Terry LeCount. Overthrown by Dills. Ron Fellows back on the coverage. Bill Bates, until the last minute, didn't appear to be exactly sure where he should go.
You know, the Cowboys are using a different type defense. They're using their pass defense on first down and then second down and trying outguessing Bud Grant and Steve Dills. And so the first play, they audibilized to a run. The second play, said, what the heck, I have to pass. And I think everyone's a little confused out there. You know, what are we doing? What are they doing? He doing? She doing?
3rd and 8. Thurman faking blitz, and he comes. Cowboys blitz. Penalty marker goes down. The pass intended for McCullum. Fellows back on the coverage. Good coverage.
That's when you have to have good coverage, when you have the blitz, because you don't have any help. There's some penalties against the Vikings on that play, but when you bring those safeties and corners, that's good. That gives you a good pass rush, but you better get there, because that means that everyone else is man-to-man all over the field.
And that's how they got burned twice. Illegal motion against Minnesota.
Number 8 for the offense will be declined. Will be 4th down.
It'll be 4th down. Going back deep is Rod Hill. Greg Coleman, number 8, is the Minnesota punter. 46.3 his average today.
Number 8, Greg Coleman, the Viking punter.
Hill will do the handling. Coleman's a good athlete. He's also a good punter. Hill goes back to his own 16, heads straight up the field. He's got a slot. Rod Hill with Coleman facing him. Hill gets back into Minnesota territory. Good return by Rod Hill. He looks a lot more confident than he did at one time back there.
I'll tell you, you were just saying that Greg Coleman is a good athlete. On this play, he had to be, because he got the ball. He outkicked his coverage a little on that one. And we see Hill break through here. The only guy left is Greg Coleman. Watch him. Nice position, arms out, head down, boom. Good tackle.
Well done, Greg. 24-13 Minnesota.